Have you ever wondered, are we truly the pinnacle of human evolution? Or are we simply gathering the broken fragments of a much greater civilization lost to time? The ancient structures we see today hide a shocking truth. Our modern science is failing miserably to explain their existence. These mysteries stand as silent witnesses to a reality far different from what we were taught in our school days. How were they built? Was it a miracle or a super technology long since erased? Today we go deep into the shadows of history to find the truth about these superior master builders. The secret lies ahead, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single second. Take a moment to remember that kitchen remodel you did a few years back. Perhaps it was a gift to your family after years of hard work. Do you remember the feeling of running your hand over that brand new granite countertop? It was smooth, cool, with straight cuts and edges sharp to the point of perfection. To produce that, your contractor had to use high-powered diamond blade saws, precision computer-controlled CNC machines, and a significant amount of electricity. That is the standard of the 21st century. Now, I want to invite you on a mental journey to a remote, desolate land in Bolivia, South America. There lies a ruin called Puma Punku. It sits at an altitude of over 12,000 feet, nearly 4,000 meters above sea level. Here the air is so thin that every step leaves you breathless, and the altiplano cold can chill you to the bone. Amidst this barren landscape, stones identical to your kitchen countertop, but thousands of times larger, have sat exposed to the elements for millennia. Puma Punku is no ordinary architectural feat. It looks like a massive workshop of a prehistoric civilization that vanished in some ancient cataclysm. These blocks are made of granite and andesite, two of the hardest materials on Earth, second only to diamond. Some stones weigh up to 131 tons. To put that in perspective, that's like stacking 10 of those familiar yellow school buses on top of each other. The question is, how? Mainstream archaeologists, with their textbook theories, often tell us that ancient people used stone hammers and bronze chisels to create these about 2,000 years ago. But let's be honest with each other. As people who have enough life experience to know what is feasible and what is absurd, how could a bronze chisel or a river pebble create deep, razor-straight grooves with surfaces as flat as a mirror? When you look at the tiny, pin-straight drill holes spaced with absolute precision, the primitive tools answer starts to sound like a fairy tale for children. It feels almost like a subtle discrimination against the intelligence of our ancestors. Are we being too arrogant to assume that a tribe without a written language, or the wheel, as we define it, was primitive? Look at the H blocks. They are carved with millimeter precision, like giant Lego pieces for a god. They fit together so perfectly that even after thousands of years of shifting, a thin piece of paper or a credit card cannot slide between them. In fact, researcher Arthur Posnansky, based on the alignment of these structures with the stars, proposed a shocking figure. Puma Punku may have existed 15,000 years ago, a time when, according to mainstream history, humans were still mere hunter-gatherers. The truth is, even for the most experienced construction engineers in America today, without the help of hydraulic cranes and laser cutters, recreating Puma Punku would be an almost impossible mission. These stones weren't just placed there. They were calculated with advanced mathematics and a stoneworking technique that we have accidentally lost in the currents of time. We stand there, before ruins that are broken yet proud, and realize that this world holds secrets far beyond the understanding of the most modern laboratories. These stones are breathtaking, but would you believe that across the ocean, in England, there are stones that don't just sit silently, but can sing and guide the souls of the dead? We will explore the mystery of Stonehenge next. Leaving the towering peaks of Bolivia, I invite you to fly across the Atlantic to the lush, misty fields of Wiltshire, England. Here, amidst a vast plain, stands an icon that almost all of us have seen on old postcards or National Geographic specials, Stonehenge. At our age, having weathered many of life's storms, we often view Stonehenge as a mere monument to time. But behind those gray monoliths lies a logistics puzzle that would make even the most modern American trucking companies shake their heads in disbelief. Did you know that the smaller stones in the inner circle, known as blue stones, are not local? They were brought from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 140 miles away, roughly the distance from New York City to Philadelphia. Imagine that for a second. No heavy-duty trucks, no paved roads, and certainly no hydraulic lifts. Ancient workers had to transport stones weighing as much as a full-grown elephant over steep hills, across rushing rivers, and through deep bogs. Modern scientists have tried to replicate this feat using manpower and wooden rollers as the textbooks suggest, but the results have been nothing but miserable failures and sighs of frustration. An ancient legend says that the wizard Merlin used magic to levitate these stones from Ireland, flying them across the sea to land in Wiltshire. It sounds like a Hollywood sci-fi movie, but let's pause to reflect. Could the term magic be how ancient people, who didn't have the concept of electricity or machinery, described a technology of anti-gravity or sound wave manipulation that we have yet to grasp? But the real mystery lies in a recent discovery by acoustic archaeologists. They found that the blue stones at Stonehenge possess strange acoustic properties. When you strike them, instead of a dull thud, they ring with a melodic, ethereal sound like a metal bell or a Tibetan singing bowl. This cannot be a coincidence. Could it be that Stonehenge was not just a giant sundial or an ancient cemetery, but a healing center through sound? Perhaps the builders possessed a profound knowledge of frequency and vibration, things that modern science is only now beginning to rediscover through sound therapy to reduce stress and heal cells. In a modern world filled with the glare of machinery and digital noise, we seem to have lost the ability to listen to the heartbeat of nature. The stones at Stonehenge stand as a reminder. There is a power in silence and frequency, a wisdom our ancestors held to connect humans with the cosmos. We look at them and wonder, who were the truly high-tech ones? Stonehenge still bears the marks of manual chiseling. But what about stone spheres so perfect that even modern machines would struggle to replicate them in Costa Rica? Who was powerful enough to mold perfect spheres out of hard rock? The answer will stun you in the next chapter. Leaving the mystical melodies of Stonehenge, follow me deep into the dense jungles of the Dique Delta in Costa Rica. Imagine you are in the 1930s, an era when the world still had many unexplored corners. Workers for the United Fruit Company were clearing the jungle for banana plantations when suddenly their axes and shovels struck something incredibly strange. Amidst the tangled vines, hundreds of stone spheres were revealed, scattered like giant marbles forgotten by a god. Some are as small as a baseball, fitting in the palm of your hand, but others are monsters reaching 10 feet in diameter and weighing up to 16 tons. At our age, having experienced all kinds of machinery and hand tools, you understand that crafting stone is a monumental challenge. But here's the real shocker. The roundness of these spheres is nearly perfect. Modern engineers brought the most precise measuring equipment, and they were left gasping in disbelief. The geometric margin of error in these spheres is incredibly small, almost zero. Put yourself in the shoes of an ancient craftsman. You are facing a block of granodiorite, one of the hardest stones on the planet, where a single mistake in a chisel strike could ruin the entire structure. How could you grind it into an absolute sphere without laser measures, industrial lathes, or complex geometric tools? Many theories suggest the ancients used thermal shock, heating the stone, and then cooling it rapidly with water to flake off the outer layers. However, that crude technique could never produce a surface so smooth and roundness, precise to the millimeter. It requires a profound understanding of mathematics and physics, far beyond what we typically attribute to prehistoric people. This mystery isn't confined to Central America. Halfway across the world in Bosnia, similar spheres have been found, and a shocking discovery emerged. Independent researchers, after conducting chemical analysis and microscopic exams, found evidence that these spheres might not have been carved from natural stone at all. Instead, they have a structure resembling an ancient polymer concrete. Yes, you heard that right. There is a real possibility that ancient people held the secret to melting stone. They may have used potent plant extracts or a massive thermal energy source to turn hard rock into a liquid form, then poured it into giant spherical molds. If this is true, it means our ancestors mastered material chemistry thousands of years before we invented plastic or reinforced concrete. We take pride in the Industrial Revolution of the 18th and 19th centuries. But standing before the perfect stone spheres of Costa Rica or Bosnia, that pride feels small. These works are not just art. They are physical evidence of a civilization with a level of technical skill that modern science is only beginning to scratch the surface of. Who were they? Where did they go? And why did they leave these giant marbles as a challenge for posterity? All the monuments we visited lie in the distant past. But what if I told you that right in Florida, in the mid-20th century, the era of our fathers, a frail, small man recreated the construction secrets of the pyramids all by himself without any machinery? The story of the Coral Castle will give you chills. Of all the stories I've shared with you, this is perhaps the one that makes me feel most moved and proud of human potential. We don't need to go back thousands of years. We only need to look at the state of Florida in the mid-1900s. This is the story of Coral Castle and the man who spent his life building it. Ed Leedskalnin. Ed wasn't a Hollywood superhero. He was a Latvian immigrant who came to America with a broken heart. His fiancée, whom he affectionately called his Sweet 16, canceled their wedding just a day before the ceremony. With a tightening pain in his chest and tuberculosis gnawing at his body, Ed spent the next 28 years building a castle out of coral stone as a monument to eternal love. Now visualize Ed's stature, a tiny man standing only 5 feet tall and weighing less than 100 pounds. To the naked eye, Ed looked as though he would struggle to lift a bag of cement. Yet alone he quarried, carved, and moved over 100 tons of solid coral rock. What truly baffles construction engineers and physicists in America is how he did it. Ed possessed no modern machinery, no hydraulic cranes, no diesel engines, no industrial lifts. The only tools he was ever seen using were crude, homemade pulleys fashioned from old truck parts. Most mysteriously of all, Ed worked entirely alone at night, under the quiet Florida moon, to avoid prying eyes. There is a detail I think you'll find fascinating. There is a 9-ton coral gate at this castle. It is so perfectly balanced that it can be swung open with a light touch of a child's finger. When this gate finally broke in 1986, it took a professional crew and a 50-ton crane to fix it. They were shocked to find that Ed had drilled a hole through the center of the 8-foot-tall block with absolute precision, without a laser drill. When curious neighbors asked for his secret, Ed simply gave a reply that has become legend. "I have discovered the secrets of the pyramids." He claimed to understand the workings of weight and magnetism. Local children whispered that they had peeked through the fence and seen Ed making massive coral blocks float in the air like balloons filled with helium. After Ed passed away in 1951, notebooks were found in his small room titled Magnetic Current. Ed believed that all matter in the universe is composed of individual magnets, and if one knows how to interact with the Earth's magnetic grid, gravity can be neutralized. A man considered eccentric, living on the fringes of American society, achieved alone what a construction corporation with state-of-the-art equipment would struggle to do today. Ed's story isn't just about architecture. It's a testament that if we grasp the hidden laws of nature, nothing is impossible. It makes us wonder, is what we learned about physics in school the whole truth? Ed's secret lay in gravity and magnetism right here in Florida. But our final stop takes us to an even more ancient place, a temple on the island of Malta, where stone wasn't just for building, but a machine to control human brainwaves. Let's enter the oracle room now. To close this mesmerizing journey, I invite you to fly over the azure waters of the Mediterranean and land on the small but powerful island of Malta. Here, amidst towering limestone cliffs, exists an ancient temple complex called Hagar Kim. The first thing you should know is that these temples are older than the Great Pyramid of Giza and Stonehenge. They are the oldest freestanding stone structures on Earth known to mankind. At the heart of Hagar Kim is a space that makes anyone who enters feel a slight electric hum down their spine and a strange pressure in their eardrums, the oracle room. At our age, having seen so much of the world, we understand that life doesn't just operate through what we see and hear. Modern scientists, equipped with cutting-edge frequency meters, discovered a staggering truth. The geometry of this room was designed to create a specific acoustic resonance at 111 hertz. In modern neuroscience, 111 hertz isn't just a dry number. It's a holy frequency. When the human brain is exposed to it, activity in the prefrontal cortex is inhibited, shifting one's state of consciousness from normal to deep meditation or even powerful spiritual hallucinations. Imagine this. Thousands of years before electricity, ancient priests knew how to use stone to manipulate human brainwaves. This isn't just a stone building. It is a sophisticated acoustic technology device. Ancient people placed limestone blocks weighing up to 20 tons, the equivalent of 3 small Boeing jets, at the highest point of the wall with a precision that would make today's architects take their hats off. Beyond sound, Hagar Kim is a magnificent astronomical clock. On the winter solstice, as the sun rises over the Mediterranean horizon, the first rays of light beam directly through a hole precisely carved into the rock wall, illuminating the altar inside. Light and sound blend together to create a ritual where humans truly felt connected to the gods and the vast universe. Standing amidst these towering walls in Malta, we realize a humble but powerful truth. The people history calls prehistoric, whom we often dismiss as technologically inferior, actually possessed a deeper understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and neurology than we ever imagined. Perhaps they didn't need smartphones or the internet because they had more sophisticated ways to communicate with reality and each other. We stand there before their legacy and realize we are not the only intelligent ones in the stream of history. Perhaps the journey we call progress is actually just a long detour to rediscover the great secrets our ancestors mastered and carved into these sacred stones tens of thousands of years ago. Looking back at the journey we've just shared, from the thin air of the Bolivian mountains to the misty fields of England and the sun-drenched beaches of Florida, there is an invisible red thread connecting it all. These are not just lifeless stones. They are evidence of an extraordinary intelligence that emerges when humanity truly connects with the heartbeat of the universe. At this stage in our lives, having weathered many ups and downs, we know that logic and dry numbers are sometimes not enough. Perhaps it's time we stop looking at the past with the condescending eyes of a later generation. Modern science may still be struggling to answer the question how, but through our deep reflection and life experience, we can sense the more important question, why? Our ancestors built these wonders not to flaunt power, but to establish a bridge connecting the human soul to the stars, leaving a timeless message for future generations, for us. This world still has many mysteries hidden in the shadows of history. What do you believe? A superior civilization wiped out by a great flood? Or guidance from civilizations beyond our Earth? Whatever the answer, the truth is waiting for curious and life-enriched souls like yours to discover. If your heart still stirs at the sight of wonder, and you refuse to accept the shallow explanations found in school textbooks, walk with me. Don't let these mysteries be forgotten by time. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Here we don't just watch videos, we turn back the lost pages of history and seek answers to the greatest questions of mankind together. Your support is the fuel that keeps me going on these journeys for the truth. Thank you for your precious time. Wishing you a day full of peace and inspiration. See you in the next mystery.